Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Reach out to me directly. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com. The original Breitling Top Time was released by Willie Breitling back in the 1960s. It was a sports chronograph for burgeoning fields at the time, including motorsports, road courses, drag racing, big ovals. The Top Time was there for all of them. And in 2020, the Georges Kern administration at Breitling brought back the Top Time. The watch you see here is hot off the presses. A 2023 special edition. It is the Breitling Top Time B01 Ford Thunderbird, paying homage to one of the it cars of the 1960s. You could see the Thunderbird logo on the dial, as well as a number of 1960s design elements from the dial through the case all the way to what is described by Breitling as a race-style strap. Taking a look at the watch. In steel, 41 millimeters in diameter, 13.6 millimeters thick, lug tip to lug tip, 50.3 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. On the wrist, this won't be mistaken for a vintage watch. It is quite large and chunky. That said, it has an endearing presence with a lot of color and the fun distortion that comes with a plexiglass style cambered and domed sapphire. You also get that cool combination of Thunderbird teal with white and red accents on a lovely vintage evocative dial. So while the size definitely says modern watch, the details are romantic. And you can see it's not super thick. 13.6 with most of the thickness in that bezel and the crystal. You're going to find this will fit underneath a lot of cuffs. Now the strap, substantial. Yes, it's calfskin leather. Yes, it has a perforation that's a little bit racing in style, inspired. It's also been brogued, as there's leather stitched on top of leather, and it's very thick, a lot of leather. On the bottom, you can see calfskin in yellow, brand new Breitling factory strap, no crimping, no gouging. We have a sheer cut profile that shows you just how massive this strap is, and then a deployant clasp, single fold with twin trigger release, so you have to press the two triggers before it opens, and then the buckle features both satin and polish for a handsome distinction and contrast. So does the case. You can see that the case features lugs that are broken out sharply with a pronounced step away from the case band. Satin finished lug profiles, satin finished case profiles. Also note that the lugs straddle the bezel like brackets. They're actually not pressed right up against the bezel, creating an unconventional but attractive design flourish. Now the bezel itself has a vertical outer face and then a conical profile, and you can see just how dramatically cambered that sapphire is. They really wanted to create the look of a vintage thermoplastic, and you do get most of that, but you also get the scratch resistance of sapphire. Vintage inspired pump style pushers. We have a Breitling B on the crown. The watch is an automatic winder, though if you wish, you can manually wind it. We have a vintage-style calibration of a tachometer on the dial as opposed to the bezel. And you can see we have slightly dished sub-registers with concentric patterns internally. We have red for chronograph functions, seconds, minutes, and hours, and then Thunderbird teal for running seconds. You can see that again on the Thunderbird logo. A lot of people ask me, Tim, which Thunderbird is your favorite? And they think I'm crazy for not just saying 1957 E or F code. And if I were looking to roll out onto the lawn at Pebble Beach, I would say that. But I've got a screw loose, which is why I would say 1961 to 63 F code Sport Roadster, or because I've got a lot of screws loose, 1968 to 69 Thunderbird Suicide Door Sedan with the 385 big block. All right, having alienated the T-Bird guys, let's talk about the watch. You can see it's a simple dial with printed features rather than any appliques to give it a modern aesthetic. That said, there is luminescence, and it's a fairly easy watch to read in the dark. Not the chronograph functions, but the time. Underneath, we have a modern movement, which explains why there's absolutely no jump or stagger when I start the chronograph. That's because it has a vertical clutch with no extraneous play. So it starts without jump, and it always resets perfectly to the index at 12, problems that lateral clutches sometimes create. Taking a quick look, you can also see we have that hacking seconds function, so you can stop the watch if you wish and set it to a reference time. And then, of course, you can appreciate on the reverse side just how attractive that Breitling caliber B01 is. Once again, we have the Thunderbird graphics and a little bit of information. 100 meters, water resistant, that's nice. Put it on a different strap, you can swim with it. Certified chronometer, adjusted in 5 positions, it's nice. COSC certified Swiss chronometer. Breitling and Ford teaming up, that's a power pair. You can see that the finishing is not generic. Not every version of the B01 has this distinctive combination of media blasting and linear satination, which you'll find on the base plate and then also on the bridges and the rotor. So this has a different look than other B01s. You can see the column wheel that's used for selecting the function. And I've often opined that the B01 column wheel is one of the best feeling column wheels in the business, punching above its weight. I compare it to stuff like Longa and Rolex. 40 joules, 4 hertz, 70-hour power reserve. You can see we have a combination of a proprietary micrometric adjustment screw, but then also Edicron, the silver key being used for beat error, the golden key being used for fine adjustment of timing, and then KIF shock protection. Lots to love. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details, and let me know in the comments below what is your favorite generation, model, and spec of Ford Thunderbird.